Yo, what's going on, everybody? Marlon Johnson here. What's up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be talking about what Alex Hormozi referred to as an entrepreneur's most valuable resource and how you're probably leaking it and you don't even know. So if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment because I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Now, in this video, I really want to go over this concept because it was one of the most valuable videos I've ever seen from Alex Hormozi. If you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, you should check him out. He runs acquisitions.com. It's a portfolio of companies doing over $100 million in revenue each year. And he mentioned this, it's an old video actually. Maybe one day I'll do a reaction video on it, but it's a video from a few years back where he was talking to his community and he mentioned that a lot of people make the common misconception that time is your most valuable asset. And that's an incomplete statement. It's not a lie, but it's also not a complete truth. Because when you say time is a person's most valuable asset, it's kind of like saying a person's house is their most valuable asset. The house in and of itself is not a valuable asset. It's really about how you're using it. So your time isn't your most valuable asset for the sake of it just being your time. It's how are you using it? And the truth is, most people are misusing their time because of their lack of their true asset, which is focus. See, as an entrepreneur, your ability to focus is going to be the thing that separates you in the marketplace. The person who can stay focused and stay concentrated on their business without getting distracted is going to outperform the competition. Oftentimes I hear people say the market's shifting, I can't do this, I can't do that. But did you ever notice that regardless of if the market's up, down, or stuck sideways, there are always people who are producing at a high level regardless of what the market is doing? These are the individuals who have had honed on the ability to channel their focus. And what do I mean by that? I have people all the time that I work with as coaches. As a coach, I'm a high performance coach. And a lot of them will come to me and they'll say, Marlon, all right, I'm working on this business. I've got this business and I've got this business over here. So I've got a dry cleaner. I've got a real estate business. I also work my W-2 job, and then we're putting up ATMs and we're putting up candy machines. And, but I'm just overwhelmed and I'm stressed out. And I'm like, well, yeah, duh, of course you are, because you have so many things. You've got to think about your attention as units of energy. And I'm going to use the analogy that Alex used. I mean, it's really a great video. Like, I'm taking what I learned from him and I'm reiterating it in my words so that hopefully you guys could understand this because it's been so valuable to me. He said that you have to look at your attention as if they were little marbles, and you have these marbles of attention. So you start off with this stockpile of marbles of attention. And as you start to go off on one venture, maybe your business gets a handful of marbles, and maybe that second thing that you're doing on the side gets some marbles, and your job gets some marbles, and your health gets some marbles, and then your friends get some marbles, and then your family gets some marbles, and the project car that you're working on, it gets some marbles. And so now your marbles of attention are all spread out, and you used up your stockpile of marbles. Now, what occurs is in your business, maybe a fire comes up in your business and there's an immediate problem that needs to be solved. And when you're looking at solving that problem, it requires some marbles of attention. The problem is you've already spent all your marbles of attention, so you no longer have the single thing that you need to address this problem. You don't have the attention that you have to give the problem in order to solve it. So what do you begin to do? Well, you begin to look around and you start to say, where can I take marbles of attention from? And so now maybe you're pulling it from your relationship with your family. And interestingly enough, you're still wanting to maintain the relationship with your family, but you're essentially borrowing. So you're stealing from over here so that you can pour it onto your business, which the problem occurs now because you didn't shut your family off. You're still trying to maintain the family, but now the family doesn't have the marbles of attention that it needs to operate. So a fire pops up over here while you're maintaining this fire. So now you've got to grab marbles of attention from over here, and you begin trying to shift these marbles of attention all around, and you simply do not have the bandwidth to be able to handle everything that's coming in your way. Ultimately, your job is to be able to look at everything you've got, and you need to be able to close off things that require your attention. You want to be able to focus on the thing, in this case, your business, that requires the most amount of marbles of attention. Because when fires start to come up and you still have a stockpile of marbles, you might look at those problems, and these problems used to seem like big problems. They probably don't seem so big anymore because you have the bandwidth, you have the actual thing that lets you take care of that problem. You have the horsepower to handle that particular situation, which is your marbles of attention. But if you keep saying yes and you keep spreading those marbles out, you don't have the ability to handle things. So this is why when you look at high-level entrepreneurs, you're going to find that for them, these big problems don't seem so big. They're not actually big at all. And you're going to find that for them, small problems are actually big, because those little small problems that you're trying to distract them with, they're aware that you're trying to take their marbles of attention. So they're extremely guarded about their time, and they're extremely guarded about their attention because they are aware that their attention is the thing that lets them make the high-level decisions that evolve the business, that get the marketing going, that get the sales going, that grow the business to another level. But if you keep allowing yourself to distract because you want to do, I hear people say this all the time, right? I want multiple streams of income. Because Marlon, five checks are better than one check, right? Well, no, one big ass check is better than 5 little checks. You're going to find that you can just focus on one thing and be extremely successful at that first before you look at expanding and going into other things. So I'd rather have a company that, let's say, like, it does landscaping. I'd rather have a $100 million landscaping company than to have $5 million companies that stress me out, where I'm wondering, why do I even do this? If you put your time and attention into one thing, and you hear this advice all the time that you've got to diversify. Well, that's good advice if you already have a large pool or a large pile. But when you're getting started, diversification is actually horrible advice. I think it's the worst advice you can give a person, to try to diversify in the beginning phases of growing yourself and growing your business. You need to get locked in. You need to, as Andrew Carnegie would say, put all your eggs in one basket and then watch the basket. That's how the wealthy get wealthy. It's not by having a million things going on. It's by focusing on the one thing, saying no to all the other noise, and making themselves inaccessible so that when people ask them, can you do this, can you do that, they say no more times than they say yes. That's something that you need to start doing. If you want to get to that next level in your business, you need to look at your attention, and you need to audit, where are you paying your attention? Because attention is a currency. So where are you paying? That's why they say pay attention. It is a currency. So are you leaking this currency, or are you investing it into something that's actually going to take off, that's going to grow, take you to the next level, that's going to help you develop a skill? And also recognize that the thing that got you to this point, it might have been your hustle, it might have been your grind, it might have been running around doing everything at once that got you to this point. But the same thing that got you to level 4 isn't going to be the same thing that gets you to level 5. That each time you get to a new level, you've got to stop and you've got to reassess, and you have to see, what is it that I should be doing? I had to learn this in my business. I had to hire an executive assistant because I was finding myself doing all the little things. When we would buy a property, I was the one calling the utilities company. I was getting the energy turned on. I was getting the lockbox put on. I was doing all these things, which I was wasting my time and energy, and it was no longer allowing me to progress to the next level because I didn't have the mental bandwidth to be going out and to looking at more deals. I didn't even have the desire to want to do more because I kept feeling like I don't have the bandwidth to do this. So until I started offloading that stuff and getting my attention back was when I was able to start taking things to the next level. So I want you guys to be able to do the same thing. Start to ask yourself, where am I paying my attention currently? Audit yourself, audit your attention, see what you're spending your focus on, and start to spend more time focusing on the one thing that's going to take you to the next level. So if you guys agree with me on this, leave a comment. If you disagree with me and you think that diversification is actually better advice, leave a comment too. I want to know why you think it's a better idea to diversify when you're getting started versus to stay focused and put all your eggs in one basket. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. More videos like this are going to come, so be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. And let me know, what do you want to see me talk about in the next video? All right, guys, I'll see you later.
Yeah, I got $1 billion mindset, steady